Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint a sailboat with a sunset in the background. I'm going to show you step by step how to do it from start to finish. I think this is going to be a pretty good beginner lesson. I'm going to try to keep it simple for you. Got my husband Mark with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's been in chat during our live show today, so if you have questions while I'm painting, you can ask those and I'll try to answer them. Let's get started. Alrighty, so I'm going to be using a 10 by 10 inch canvas today. This is the 12 ounce Dixie Pro Series. I've been using these recently. I used them with the Flower Girl series. If you saw that one we did the other night. Really love that series. Anyhow, this is the same canvas and it's a nice tight weave and thick, nice and thick. So I really like it. I'm going to go over my brushes really quick. So you're going to probably want a large flat of some sort to do the background blending. If it's softer, it'll go on a little smoother. The kind of more textured brushes, like these bristle brushes, will leave a few streaks, which is fine. It's just, you know, you got to know that going in that they're not going to be as softly blended if they're not a softer brush. So I'm going to be using the 2-inch Aspen for most of the background sky area, and then for some of the water and other things I'm going to be using some of the kind of more medium-sized brushes. I've got a thing sticking off my thumb there, sorry. 12 Bright, a 6 Filbert, and a 8 Filbert and 8 Filbert in the 6100 series. Those are the long handle. Their Summit, I guess, is the series, Summit series, and then possibly the 6 Angle Bright. I'm not sure if we'll need that one, but I grabbed it just in case. And then I've got a new series. This is the Umbria line with the dark brown handles. They're similar to the VelvetTouch ones that with the red handles that I've been using, but they're a little bit firmer. So I'm still testing these out to see if I like them. But I think last week I used them and I really did like them. So I'm kind of going to check them out again today. So I've got a 3/8 inch Angular Bright, a 4 round, and a 0 round. And that'll be mostly for the sailboat itself. We're going to need some smaller brushes to do some of those details in there. And then you'll want either like a, what did I do with my sponge? It was right here. Did I drop it? Oh, yeah, I sure did. It was on the floor. Okay. It like disappeared on me. I was like, what did I do? Okay. I've got a Deerfoot Stippler, or if you've got like a smooth finished round sponge like this, I probably would not do this with a sea sponge that's like more textured. So if you've got one like this, great. If you don't, just use a Deerfoot Stippler for the sun technique. So, and then we'll want a watercolor pencil or a piece of chalk or something to do our drawing on the canvas. Or if you want to, you can always draw it on paper and then transfer it onto your canvas. And I've done that on several videos in the past. All right, let's go over our colors really quick. Rambling. Carbon Black, Burnt Umber, Burnt Sienna. This one is quinacridone Burnt Orange. It should go right here. I forgot it. Yellow Oxide. This is Indian Yellow. Or you could use like a Nickel Azo Gold or Australian Sienna. One of those kind of goldish yellows will work. Cadmium Yellow Medium and Light. Cobalt Teal, Phthalo Blue Green Shade, Unbleached Titanium, Titanium White, and then this is my glazing medium. And I'm going to spray these one more time because they're already drying out. So those will be our basic colors. If you don't have those exact ones, just use what you've got. But you're going to want kind of a greenish blue and then an arrangement of yellows. You know, at least a couple of yellows will help you kind of with this sunset effect back here. And the reason I added the burnt orange is because it's got a little tiny bit of pink tone to it. So if you don't have that color, just add like a quinacridone magenta or some sort of a reddish color, because we'll want that just along the bottom of our sunset.
Did you check your audios? Did you use your face camera?
I did use my face camera. Is it low? Okay, let me do it real quick. No, you just changed. Let me do it. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Got a little...
Hello, welcome to the channel, everybody.
Yes.
If
right
we
there.
if we use a specific camera, our audio levels go down for some reason. So
Yeah, every time I use my webcam, it's way down to 23. Oh boy. No wonder. Okay, now you can probably hear me. There we go. Is that better?
we'll see. Or yeah. Oh yeah, that's
better?
a lot better.
It's down to 23%. Okay, sorry about that.
I won't make you start over.
Okay, all right, good. Hopefully they can turn up. I feel sorry for the people that had the volume turned way up now.
It's like,
Wow. Yeah, it's going to be loud. Okay, so you're going to just want, the only thing we're really going to draw right now is our horizon line. And that's just going to give us a little bit of a reference point. We really, we're going to use a ruler to paint it in later or tape or something. But so you're going to want to use a T-square. And just kind of know that this like bumpy end of the canvas here can throw your T-square off, so it can kind of turn it off, make it off center. So you might want to do it from both sides, like do a line this way and then turn it around and do it again from the other side, and just make sure that that the end of the canvas is not affecting it. Your line, yeah, because it's lower on this side now. Okay. So you just mainly want any kind of horizon line on water to be completely straight. And this one is right about the third mark. So it might be a little bit higher than the third, but if you kind of split your canvas into 3 parts horizontally, this bottom sunset line, horizon line is going to be right there on that bottom third. Okay. I was going to do it in gray, but I don't want it to interfere. Hopefully you can see that yellow line enough. Let me see. I'm actually going to leave that gray one out. And we'll see when we get this painted if we can sketch the sailboat in without scratching off our paint. That's going to be the fun part. And we don't have the luxury of letting it dry for a day. Okay, I'm going to spray my canvas, and all that's going to do is kind of wet the fibers. And just one good spray. You don't want to oversaturate it. You can kind of brush it around and then kind of work it into the fibers. That will allow my paint to absorb into the canvas just a little bit easier. All right, so let's start out. And I thought about painting my canvas ahead of time, like yellow or something, because most of it's yellow, but I don't know, it was just like there's just enough of this blue at the top that I just didn't want to mess with that, trying to cover it because it could turn it green over the yellow. So we'll just kind of try to work it out. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to grab some white here. And I have a little bit of water in my brush. You always want to have a little bit of water especially when you're working with heavy body acrylics, because they can be super thick. So you need to have a little bit of water in there. And then the glazing medium is just to kind of help with the drying time, because when you add a lot of water, your paints can dry out pretty quick. So I'm going to add my white kind of just above, like right in the middle of this section, just about. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to grab my lightest yellow. So this is the cadmium yellow light. Cashmere's talking to Mark over there. Our cat. Oops, I'm getting some streaks. Just trying to work that out. There we go. Okay, so working that yellow across. I'm not really worried about leaving that white area because this yellow is so light, it's not going to affect it too much. I'm not wanting to go up any higher than right about here. I'm going to leave about, 1.5 inches up there for my blue. So go and bring that yellow down to your horizon line. In fact, I'm going to go over the horizon line and down into my water. Try to work fairly quickly with this because you don't want this to dry out while you're working it. So if you're working on a larger canvas, you can do this and like let your layers dry in between, because you're probably going to have to, and use a much larger brush too, so that you can cover a lot of the canvas. And you may even want to use something like an open acrylic. Golden has a line of open acrylics that take a long time to dry. So they're still water-based acrylics, but they give you a lot more time to work. with. Okay, so there we go. I'm getting it kind of just right on that corner. You can see picking up the paint on the corner, and then I'm gonna work into my brush really well, press down really hard so that paint gets worked in, but I'm not kind of getting it all the way through the brush, and that way I can keep that lighter color at the very top there. I'm just going to start at the very bottom of that horizon line. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna make sure that we're gonna go back over that here in a minute. Make sure that it's perfect, but I'm going to just work it up as far up as I want to, and I'm going to go about halfway up, I guess. And then I'm going to grab some of the burnt orange, do the same thing, get it on the corner, work it in really well, same place, so it'll blend with the yellows there. And look at that, I'm just going to go right along that very bottom line there. Darken that up. And if you want to, you can have your ruler there when you do this to, kind of help make sure that you're getting it completely straight. Of course, my yellow is wet underneath, but I'm just kind of angling my thing there so it's not hitting it too hard. But there we go. So we've got a beautiful soft blend there, and I think I'm happy with that. I don't think I want to overly mess with it. So you're going to want to clean out your brush really well. And then if I can get it there without making too much mess. I think this one might be for like doing like that. I'm not sure. I'm still, this is a brand new water thing, so I'm still kind of figuring out how to use it. So I'm just trying to get most of all that yellow out of there. That's what I'm concerned about most. And then I want to get my white again. And I'm going to go with a new spot now. I'm going to get some white, work that through, and then I'm going to get some Cobalt Teal and a little bit of Phthalo Blue. And again, I'm getting it on that corner. So I'm going to leave the white toward the bottom, and I'm going to do the darker up at the top. So just kind of pick a spot and always put your color side on the same spot. There. That's about right, I think, maybe. And I think I might just get just the tiniest, and I mean tiny bit of burnt sienna to work in there. That'll kind of neutralize that color so it doesn't look as super bright. Yeah, that's better. Just kind of warms it up, that blue, just a little bit, makes it a little bit more kind of gray, which is sort of what we want up here. So I'm going to get a little bit more, just brighter. There we go. Okay, let's try that and see how it looks. Oh yeah, perfect. Okay. See, that little touch of burnt sienna will really make a difference. And you can tell that my paint is getting dry. Can you hear that? You could hear it and you can see it right here. So that means I need to add a little bit more water. Just going to pick up a little bit more water. And I need to be careful that this down here does not get any of that blue in it. So I want to make sure that I've loaded my brush right so that the blue is staying at the top there. And I'm just going to bring it down just a little bit. But I'm really trying to kind of just very gently. Once I get that color down, I'm very lightly skimming it now. I'm just going to kind of skim it along this side because this side has a little bit more blue than this side does. So just kind of skim it down just a little bit more over here. And I think that's going to be good enough. Yeah, I like that.
Everybody's yelling at you, the sun.
Well, yeah, I'll do the sun. That's what I'm going to show. That's what we're going to do with the sponge.
Okay.
Yeah. They're worried about me because
Don't lose it.
Don't know why you have no faith in me. I've never forgotten to do the sun.
The big yellow ones, the
Only
sun.
every time I do. No.
No, you usually remember it. You just paint over it.
I remember it too late.
You remember it, then you paint over it.
Thank you.
Like, oh, wait a
Y'all
minute.
are sweet to remind me.
And don't forget its feet.
This is one of the first. Yes, this is one of the few times that I did it right. I did it intentionally that way. Okay, so we have that light yellow here, and I'm just going to put some of this blue since I've got it on my brush. I'm going to do it down here, so the dark color down here, and I'm doing it obviously a lot lighter. I'm just going to kind of put it across the bottom of the canvas there a little bit. And then I'm going to pass this off to Mark to dry. He's going to have to dry it for me because I... Okay, I can take the cat for you. Will you rinse that? Just, you don't have to rinse it all the way. But, Cashmere, you want to come over here and say hi? Come here, kitty. Come here. Nope, she's not. She's saying no. All right. So, we've got, this is our bonus video weekend. If you have been around our channel any length of time, we do a bonus video. I'm trying to figure out what we did last month. Oh, here we go. So last month we painted these birds for our bonus video. It is a video that is one of the only, 80% of our videos are completely free on YouTube. We do about 10 videos a month. 8 of them are on YouTube, and 2 of them are for patrons. So we've got a $10 one and a $5 one, and this is the $5 level. We do once a month, we do a bonus video where we take, I think this one was 5 hours or something. We take basically a whole afternoon and we paint one painting until we're finished, and it's usually something a lot more complicated in design. So this month we're going to be doing a, let me see if I can find that photograph for you. I think I already have it up. I can pop it in the corner so you can see it. Let me see. There we go. That, whoop. See if I can get it. Come on. Sorry, you're not seeing. There we go. So that's what we'll be painting tomorrow for my patrons, for the $5 folks. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that one. So if you're interested in that, you can hop on over to Patreon, patreon.com/AngelaFineArt, and there you'll see the information about how to sign up and everything. You'll get you get access to all our past bonus videos as well. So when you sign up, that includes all of the previous videos that we've done for patrons. So.
You need that brush back?
No, I'm good. Okay, so this is dry now. So let's go ahead and try it with the sponge. We'll see how this goes. I'm not 100% sure this is going to work, but I think it should in theory. So fingers crossed here. Let's see.
I want to see you paint with your fingers crossed.
Like this? Okay, I can try.
All right, the finger cross challenge.
There's so many art channels that do that too. It's fun. They do all kinds of weird stuff in some of the channels. It's really funny. I'm like, I can never think. I don't know how they come up with that stuff. I can never think that. My brain doesn't work that way. Okay, so you're gonna want to wet this down until it's damp, but not like if you squeeze it, there's no water coming out anymore. But it's got to be kind of slightly damp. And I'm gonna go right in. In fact, I'm gonna pick up a little bit of this glazing medium first. That'll just kind of help soften up this color. I'm gonna get just a little bit more white, and if you've got like a fluid white, you might help to use that instead. This may be. Yeah, I think I'm going to put down some fluid white. This is just a little bit thinner version. It's the same stuff as what the heavy body acrylics. But it's more pigmented than like a craft acrylic. It's got more color in it. So, okay, there we go. So I just want to have that color kind of all the way through, fairly evenly dispersed, and then I'm going to kind of tap off the edges just a little bit so those edges are a little bit softer and leave that darker color in the middle. And then we're going to just set it down where we want our sun here, and I'm just going to kind of work it. Okay, there we go. And then I want to take off all that color. And then, so I tapped down the color where I wanted it to go, and then I'm just taking all that color out of there, and I'm just going to work those edges out kind of in a larger and larger circles to soften it up like that. Okay. And then we definitely need more white in the middle, so I'm going to just try to tap a little bit more of that in there. And we'll probably need to do this 2 or 3 times before it's dark enough, because we're going over that top of the yellow. So, you know, the main thing is you just want to make sure that your edges here are soft. So once you get that color on, just kind of work those edges out so that you get this soft kind of bleed into the other colors. Okay, so that looks good. I'm just going to leave that, let it dry completely. We can do it another time, like I said, just to brighten it up. I think the next time I'll show you how to do it with the Deerfoot Stippler, because it'll give you a little bit more punch. It'll be a little bit brighter for us. So let me get more white. I got a big old soupy mess where my white was now. There's a lot of paint there. I think I'm just going to wipe it all off. And let's wipe my palette down. Including my sky colors. There we go. So if this is a glass palette, so I can scrape it clean too if I need to, but this paint is still wet enough that it's coming off pretty easily. I'm gonna wet down my tail and just do one last little swipe to get all the extra bits off. You don't want to put fresh paint over the top of dried palette paint on your palette, because it will flake off and then you'll get little bits of dried paint in your new fresh paint. Not good. Trust me. Been there, done that. Don't want to do it again. Okay. Let's see. I think since this is dry and it's not going to be touching that, I'm going to go ahead and just clean up this edge of the water a little bit. So I'm going to get the number 12 bright here. Bright just means it's a shorter flat brush. So it's a flat brush, but it's a little bit shorter bristles. So it gives a little bit more control. So I want the yellow, cadmium yellow, light, maybe a little bit of the Indian yellow. Kind of a bright light color. And this should be similar to what we've already got. So I'm going to set my ruler down and I'm just going to go right up against that line across. Try not to let the paint, I'm keeping my paint fairly thick so it's not going to bleed up underneath. Your paint, your brush, your thing's been doing that. I forgot to mention it to you. It was doing that while you were out. All right. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of use it now and do little lines in my paint, keeping them kind of horizontal-ish. What will help give us the illusion of depth? A couple things. If we have this lighter color on the horizon and go darker down here, that builds depth. Also, doing smaller details way back here. So way back here, our lines are going to be really tiny, really short, close together, and really almost not noticeable at all. And then as we get to about the middle part, we're going to start to kind of notice more ripples. They'll be a little bit bigger. And then by the time we get down here, they're going to be quite a lot larger. And that will also build the depth, illusion of depth. Okay, I'm looking up here. I don't know. I don't think I want to get super fancy with the sky. There is a little bit more of like a brighter yellow around the sky, but I really like this bleed that we've got going on here. I just don't want to mess it up, so I think I'm just going to leave it. I'm pretty happy with it. Don't need to get super fancy. Okay, so let's get some more white here, just bright white, and I'm going to find where, right kind of underneath where my sun is, and I'm going to go right here in the water and just choppy back and forth, little brush strokes. Getting a little bit smaller as they come down towards me. But closer together as they go farther up, they're going to kind of all blend together. You're not going to see as much of the little choppy brush strokes. There we go. I'm just going to kind of softly sort of smush out those edges just a little bit, soften them up. Okay, there we go. And right in the middle, I want it to be nice and bright, so I'm just going to go back over that area just a little bit. And then just smooth out any of these lines that you see, because if you have lines in there, they're going to show up when the paint is dry. So you can leave them in if you want them, though. You know, that's just a choice, up to you. But you just kind of know that that's going to happen. This is still drying, so we still can't mess with that. So let's go ahead and do some blue. I'm just going to go ahead and work that blue in. So over on this side, I'm going to get some of the Cobalt Teal and add it to this white. We've already got a little bit of it in here, but I'm just going to go ahead and kind of add a few more little like streaks into my water. As it comes around here, we're not going to be as blue. Closer to the sun, it's going to go more golden. And then as we go up to the horizon line, it's going to be much lighter. So I'm going to get some more white. Add that. How you doing, hon?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Hanging in there? Good. Good.
Yeah, had a busy morning.
You did?
Yep.
What'd you do? Play video games?
A little bit of that. No, I got some dirt.
Oh, you did.
Yeah. And I washed a couple cars.
This is while I was sleeping, by the way.
Yes. About a hose reel thingamabobber.
You're okay. You just can't help yourself.
I was wearing my mask.
You're wearing your mask? Okay, good.
We got a lot of vegetables that are growing that we have nowhere to plant.
That's true. That's true. I keep telling Mark he doesn't need to go to Lowe's or Walmart. He doesn't listen to me.
Hey.
It's that time of year.
I earned my keep. I came back with toilet paper the other day.
I was forgiven. I laughed at people buying bulk toilet paper until we were all stuck in our house for 2 months. It's like suddenly the toilet paper starts to run out real fast.
You know what they say?
What?
Blank gets real.
Yeah. Yes, it does. Okay. I am going to go ahead and do one more. This is dry now. It had little fuzzies. I think it must have come from my sponge, so I was just getting those off. If you get fuzzies or like hairs in your paint, and this happens, the best thing to do is let your paint dry and then scratch them off. Because if you try to get them while the paint's wet, you'll just peel the paint off and it'll make a big hole in your paint area. But if you let them dry, then they'll just kind of come right off. You may have a little hole, but it won't be nearly as bad as if you try to do it while they're wet. Okay. Moving on. Let me get some of this white. So what I'm going to do here is kind of a dry brush technique. I'm going to get a little bit of white. I'm going to start it pretty solid in the middle, and I'm going to move out to the outer areas fairly quickly, and I'm not going to stay in one spot any length of time. If you stay in one spot and brush over and over and over again in one spot, what will happen is that paint will start to dry, and then as it dries, it's going to lift off the canvas, and then you're going to end up with a big spot in the middle of your canvas.
Big hole.
Big old hole, no paint, and then this like weird halo of paint around the outside. So by the time I'm getting out to this outer edge, I have like zero paint left on my brush. All I'm doing is kind of just softening up those edges and dusting it with just a tiny bit of this color. Already got kind of that halo in there because of that. That is just brightening up that nicely. So I think that maybe one more time and will be plenty for the sun, for the brightness of the sun. But Yeah, you don't, just don't, and then that's a tendency, especially if you, like get too much paint. You just want to get a little bit of paint on there, just enough to kind of start your thing, but don't have it gummed up really thick on your brush. In fact, it may be a good idea just to kind of brush it off a couple of times and then go to canvas, because the tendency when you're a beginner is to really load up that paint super thick, and then when you try to do this, you're just going to end up with a big blob of white paint. And if that starts to happen, if you're not getting this soft edge and you're getting out here and you still have like this super thick line of paint, wipe your brush off really good and just keep going over that area until it's going to pull that paint off if you have a dry brush going over it. So just kind of keep trying to do that and do it very quickly, because you don't want that paint to start to dry on you. But I think that's going to be pretty good. Okay.
Now, are you using 2 different whites while you're doing that?
No.
Okay.
Just using titanium white. I'm going to...
Tidy whitey.
This might be tidy whitey. Yep. This might be a bad idea. We'll see. But I'm going to get some cadmium yellow medium, the brighter yellow, and I'm going to wipe most of it off on my brush. I'm just going to try to dust a little bit of that brighter yellow down here at the bottom of this. And see, this is a way to kind of get that color in there without painting the whole area. I don't know if you can tell the difference. There's just a little bit brighter area right there. It's very subtle. Probably didn't make that much of a difference. Okay, let's go ahead and get this brush here. I'm going to get more of that cadmium yellow medium. Get some glazing medium out because we used it all up when we did our sun. Get a little bit of that. Glazing medium will just kind of help this paint go on a little bit smoother. I'm going to get a little bit of the cadmium yellow light too, and maybe a little bit of white. Just soften it up a little bit. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to go right up next to this sunlight. In fact, where I'm right next to the sun, I need it to be fairly close to this sun color. So I want to, not too much darker. And like right around the outside of this sun, I'm going to do some of these little streaks. Really close together. Close together up here. As we get down here, we can kind of start to separate them out a little bit wider and a little bit bigger brush strokes. Okay. And then get that lighter color close to white up here. These should be real close together. All of this is going to be covered up by our sailboat, but we do want to go ahead and kind of put some stuff back here just in case a little bit of it peeks through underneath or beside, there's like a little area right here between the sail and the boat that is showing. So I just want that. Just go ahead and do the whole sky or the whole thing like it's going to all be showing. A little bit of this yellow over here. This area over here is much more in shadow, so there's not as much yellow over here. Not this bright yellow at least. And then I notice like I've covered up all of my white here, so I'm going to go back in with my white because it's way too small right there. This area is about, I would say about half the size maybe of that, maybe a third of the size of the sun there. So just kind of gauge that from your size of your sun up here. This is dry. Let me go ahead and do one more layer, and I can't do it with that brush because that is got yellow in it now. I'm gonna get a clean brush. And you don't want to add water to these brushes while you're doing this technique. It just doesn't.
She has grabbed a new Deerfoot Stippler.
Yeah, this is just the same brush, just clean. I have yellow on that other one, so I'm just gonna. Okay, there we go. And the sun is actually kind of sort of oval shaped. If you look at the picture, it's not like a perfect circle, so don't feel like you have to get it just right, just so smushes, that sun kind of starts to smush as it goes closer to the horizon line. It just, I don't know why, but it does. So probably something about the curvature of the earth there. I don't know, but.
And which brush are you using now?
This is the 6 Filbert. I was using this one a minute ago. I just got it again. So I'm going back and forth here. And I need to widen it to about like right here. And this is, I'm a little bit off center too, so my sun is like right in here. So I'm gonna just kind of widen this out, especially like right close to the horizon line. And this time I did get water in there. Got a little thicker paint. But if you load it so that your brush is flat, you know, press flat like this, then you can get a nice straight line here. So I am using that edge of my brush. I'm painting it side to side on the edge. I'm not doing it this way, because this way we'll get thicker lines along the outside, but this way we can get these softer lines. My neighbor is rumbling his truck out there very noisily for us. Thank you.
Why not?
Every week we deal with it, so it's nothing new.
We're going to have to make a soundproof room to record in.
Should. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Just trying to. And get that yellow. And then I'm just going to kind of bring the yellow in just a few places, especially like right down here. It kind of starts to creep in and almost meet in the middle in places. See that? You see that, Mark? Do you see it?
Of course. I see it. I'm taking notes, so when I paint it later on, I'll know what to do.
Good. Good to know. All right, I need to spray my paints. Keep them moist while I'm working. All right, and I'm going to use the Indian yellow, and I'm going to just mix it with this yellow, medium yellow that we had here. So it's kind of a in-between color. Go right up to the side there, and I'm streaking it, so I'm getting a little bit of the yellow still showing through. I don't want to do this too solid. Just using that edge of my brush. This is really kind of relaxing. Just kind of look at your reference photo and just try to see where you're seeing the little lines happen, and get them as close as you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. There's some over here. And, okay, there we go. And then I'm gonna use the quinacridone burnt orange. I'm seeing just a little bit of this. That's probably way too much, way too bright, so I'm going to add white. White will just tone it down a little bit. There we go. And these are going to be like in our ripples that are like our shadow ripples. So I'll look at your dark ripples and do this color where you're seeing those. Just in a few places. And mostly this color is going to be on this side where the lighter colors are. You know, this side's kind of more blue.
So, I will say that your new newsletter is out.
Yes.
And you can tell I'm not in charge of it anymore. Because it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It's
Brennan's
not
doing a
like
great job.
the bare minimum.
Yeah. Brennan's my social media guy, and he's pretty great.
And in there, it says something about doing some kind of a live Zoom party or something.
Yes.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we just hit our big milestone on Patreon that we've been kind of hoping for. So we met our monthly goal on Patreon. Big 10K. I can't believe that I'm saying that, but it's amazing. But anyhow, so yeah, we're going to be doing a big old party. I already got Princeton on board. They're going to be giving away some brushes. Basically, they just said, tell me what to send. So they're like super great to work with. If you were part of my 200, when I hit 200,000 subscribers, we gave away, I can't remember how many sets did we, do you remember how many sets? I don't know, but there was a lot. And they gave away like lots of stuff. They give brushes and like the sets. If you won one of those, it was pretty cool. So the people posted pictures of the stuff they sent. But we did a giveaway then. So that was back in like October. So it's about time to do another big giveaway. And this was kind of our excuse to party.
Yeah.
So
So we'll do Zoom.
We're gonna do Zoom. We're gonna do. We're gonna try to do some games. It's gonna be hard with a large group. It's not as easy to do games with a huge group of people. But we're gonna try to do some games. So we'll probably have like some sort of a sign up thing where we'll draw names from people that want to be in on the games part, actual play, and then everybody else can just kind of watch what's happening and still win prizes, but they won't be like playing the game. But everybody everybody who's a patron will get an email that has a bingo card in it. So all the patrons will get to play bingo with us. It's going to be color chart bingo, so it's going to have all these different colors on it, and we'll just call out colors. It's going to be awesome. I think, who doesn't like bingo, right?
And then we'll play World of Tanks.
I think we might do some of the games off Jackbox if we can figure out how to play them with a larger group. I thought I haven't talked to my moderators yet, but I thought I'd get my moderators, because you can only like play with like I think 6 to 8 players, so that'd be about the right number, and we can get like our moderators to play, and we can watch and vote on them playing some games maybe live. I don't know. We'll see. We're working out the details right now, but I think we're gonna try to make it really fun for everybody. All right, so that's pretty good so far. We're gonna need all these little darker, kind of almost like purple colors in our water. But for now, I want to get our sailboat drawn so that we know where to put those. And one thing I do want to do before we go too much farther is do a little cloud right here in the sky. So I just loaded up this white on the tip of my brush here, and I turned it upside down. I'm just going to brush it in here. Right there. That's it. That's all I'm doing. And then we could do it off to the side of my white a little bit if we want like a cloud kind of coming through. I can see some clouds sort of coming through my white too. Keep it. Look at how little I paint I have. You can see through to my bristles. So very, very, very little paint on my brush. If you do too much paint, you're just gonna get a big blob. But that's gonna work there, I think. All right. Voila, we have clouds. So let's work on our sailboat. So I'm going to go ahead and use this because I cannot draw a straight line to save my life. And we want our sailboat to be right about here. He's going to be like the bottom of the sailboat is going to be kind of right on the halfway mark down ours. So right here, about like split it in half. That's going to be kind of where our sailboat bottom lives. So we can kind of make a line for that. And then the back end is about 1 inch, I guess, from the edge there. somewhere, and then it angles up this way. So it's staying right about the halfway mark. You don't want to go farther over here than the halfway mark. So the halfway mark is going to be the edge of the boat, and then the middle post of the boat is going to be right on our third. So our mast is going to be right here on our third, and then the front of the boat is a little bit shorter than the back of the boat. So you kind of measure that and go, okay, it's, you know, right about there. Then we're going to be, you know, somewhere in here. We'll probably need to end it right about there. Maybe somewhere like that. Can you see that? Let me do it with chalk, see if that comes out better. So this end of the boat kind of angles in this way, and then the front end does too. This one's higher, and then it just angles down and meets up. But it's pretty low, pretty narrow boat. And then there's a little bit of, kind of right in the middle here, there's some cabin, I guess, and stuff happening. Okay, so let's do our, this is my technical boat terms, by the way.
Such nautical terms. Cabin and stuff happening. Right along next to the jib and mainsail.
That's exactly it. Okay, so we got, let's say, about the width of the boat. Leave that space there and do our sail right above. So there should be just a little bit of a space between this little cabin area and the bottom of the boat. That makes sense. And so there's our sail here. It doesn't come out quite as far as the back end of the boat here. And then we're going to angle it up and meet it up with the top of our sail. And really, this can be kind of pretty much as high as you want, I guess. This is about 1.5 inches from the top of the canvas, I guess. And then this sail is going to be right up next to it. It's going to overlap a little bit right here. Go all the way down and meet up to the top of the boat. So the front of the boat comes down just a little bit right here, and then goes straight down to the front of the boat. So really easy to draw. If you kind of get your reference markers, right, then it's just like filling in the dots. You're just kind of drawing straight lines there. It's not hard at all to draw. All right. We did it.
We, as in you.
Yay. Yes.
I'm proud of myself.
Good job, honey.
This is what I'm dealing with.
What? Mark is sharing his seat with the sleeping cat. And she's trying to cover her eyes from the glare of the wind of the lights in here. She's like, it's a little bright. Can we keep it down? I'm trying to sleep. Poor Cashmere. But we left her out, and she meowed and meowed until we let her back in. So she can't be out when we're in here. She has to be in here, even though she can't sleep while she's in here. Cat logic. Hashtag cat logic. Somebody, I can't remember the name. I meant to remember her name, but she sent me a picture of her cat. She said, if I move, she scratches me.
Yeah.
She claws me. She was the exact same pose. She's sitting on the edge of her seat, and her cat's, taking up the most of her painting chair. And she's like, I've been painting for hours like this. Like, I feel you. Cashmere knows better than to try to get on my seat. Mark's a lot nicer than I am. I push her off. I'm a lot meaner than he is.
Kind of keeping a certain area of my body warm.
Sorry. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Okay.
Hot buns.
Oh, don't make me laugh. Oh my god. That was awesome. All right, so mixing the quinacridone magenta with my phthalo blue, it's going to make this beautiful lavender. It's going to be a soft kind of bluish purple color. Really pretty. So this is going to be our shadow color for our water. And that's about the right, surprisingly. I think I added white when I did, yeah, I think I started out with white in my color. So I've got my angle brush now. I've switched to my number 4 angular bright. This is a 3/8 inch angle from the Umbria line. And I'm just going to kind of, I'm going to try to keep it very random. So I'm just going to kind of run the tip back and forth and wiggle it. And I'm not pressing down very hard. I'm just letting the tip kind of run and make random marks in my canvas. Can you see that? They're really random, really uneven. This is going to make it much more natural looking. So
It's so random.
so random. David. Sorry, I couldn't resist. If you know what that is a reference to,
Yep.
we like you already. We knew we liked you. All right, so I'm just going to add these, and this may be a little, they may be a little bit bright, but we can tone them down later if we need to. So there's a kind of an area in here that's kind of a little bit thicker, and it kind of goes across into the water a little bit and come up on this side. So, and again, these ones are a little bit bigger down below, and then over here, they're not going to be as purple. They're going to be more blue, but I'm going to go ahead and put a few in of them anyways. And then I'm going to get this burnt umber. Yeah, this is probably a little bit light because I've got the white still in it. Get some burnt umber and burnt sienna. I'm just going to use it right up underneath my boat here in the water. It's going to be my shadow area. And you're going to want to look at your sail. And so right below my sail is where I want the color to be coming out right here. This area up here close is going to be almost black. We'll go back over this area. And right in the front there, it's coming out just a little bit at an angle. This comes this way. This is going to go this way. It's going to be kind of an inverted V there. Yep. Okay. We're holding our breath. Don't know why it got so quiet. Like, can't she do it? I don't know. We shall see. That's the fun of painting live. You never know what you're going to get. Like a box of chocolates. All right, let me get a little bit of the blue here. I'm going to mix it with the ultramarine, or the brown, I mean. I don't know what I meant there. And I'm going to go right here where this darker area is and do just a few like darker shadows in my water. Don't be afraid of going really dark here. That's what's going to give it that depth. So we can always blend it out, blend over it, you know, smooth it out a little bit if we need to, but we want it to be really dramatic here. Go big or go home, right? You got to have that contrast. Okay, and then here's the wake behind the boat. The water, there's a little bit of disturbance on the either side of it, but it's almost a straight line right there. And I think that's pretty close. Okay. And I'm going to get a little bit more blue and some more white. And then over here, I'm gonna do more of the blue. That one's a little bit big there, but we'll fix it later. And then we'll do some of this blue kind of coming out this side, just a little bit. So like right along that edge of that shadow there.
And there was that pro move by moving and tilting the canvas.
Yes.
It doesn't have to stay in one spot. There's no loss in points.
All right. You get better control over your brush if you kind of tilt it a little bit. Okay. Get some more of that blue there. And I added more white to it. This has got that brown in it, so it's blue plus the brown burnt sienna, burnt umber color. So it's that toned down blue, similar to what we did in the sky. And that's a little too bright, so I'm going to get a little bit more white. Just very subtle color back here in my waves. These are going to be almost indistinguishable waves back here.
So
I'm going to add what?
Luann chimed in with, "Ooh, David."
Ooh, David.
I like nom nom David.
You would like that. That makes sense. Okay, getting some of the brighter yellow, and I'm just going to go over. This is what I was talking about like toning it down. So if you go over a darker color with this lighter color, what it does is kind of soften it a little bit. You can still see it through, but it just kind of takes the edge off. Kind of blends it in a little bit. Now I want to watch. I was telling Mark just last night, actually, I was like, we need to just go and do like a binge of Schitt's Creek again and watch all of them again, because it's like the best show ever. So funny. Sad it's ending this year. And we haven't been able to watch it the last little bit, so don't tell us what happens. We don't get pop, so we've been waiting for it to come to Hulu or Netflix. All right. Let's see here. I want some more yellow. Get some brighter yellow in some pots here. Trading Schitt's Creek quotes now?
No, we got sent a Liam video that I really want to watch.
No. Okay.
He's helping his mom kill a bug.
Nice. Love it.
She said, "Oh, there's a bug flying around," and he came around the corner with a shoe in his hand.
That's awesome. I'm surprised she's letting him kill him. She wouldn't let Mark kill spiders on her front porch. I guess it must be different if you're outside. Plus, she's got the mom instincts now. She's protecting. That's hilarious. It's our little grandbaby, Liam, who we can't be with. Drives us crazy. We were going to go see him at Easter, but all of this life got in the way. It's very sad. I'm sure we're not the only ones missing family right now.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, getting some more of that pure purple here. That was the burnt orange with the blue. If you don't have the burnt orange, like I said, you can just add like burnt sienna and maybe add a little quinacridone magenta or something. Just a little tiny touch of something red to make this purple color. You gotta have a little tiny bit of red tone in there to get that purple. So I'm using kind of the lighter version of it. I use the darker down here And then I've added more white to it for back in here. I'm just going to add a little bit of it back here for some. Okay. Gonna get that Cobalt teal and add it to this color. I'm gonna find my dark areas. I'm just gonna add some Cobalt teal in and around. I've kind of got a lot of, I feel like I've got a lot of lines here. I just want to kind of unify everything a little bit. There we go.
And now's the quiet time of the show.
Burnt umber. Phthalo blue.
We need our color commentator to help us out here.
Mm-hmm.
So if Dave is still watching.
Okay. Excuse me, sorry.
I got part of it.
Losing my voice here. All right, so I'm gonna just pick a couple places here. I just got like a lot of lines that are not making any sense to me here. So I'm just gonna try to kind of pick a few like main spots to add this darker color to it. There we go. Let's use the black, a little bit of burnt umber. I'm going to fill in my boat here. So what we're going to need to do is make that boat in the water the same value, so that it kind of disappears into the water. That'll help obscure the end of it and make it look, more realistic. So I don't know why I just did that. This is kind of straight right there. We need to tell Spencer to stop whistling. I can hear him. If I can hear him, they can probably hear him. All right. Oh, yeah, I like it. I like it. Very cool. Let me see here. So I want a nice sharp edge right here on my sailboat coming up. Turn it upside down so I can get that edge right along that line there. Okay. Very good. Okay, now I'm going to use this color, a little bit of glazing medium, just it's a little bit soft. I'm going to use it here in the water. I'm going to use the tip of the brush and just going to draw into the water right along that edge and just blur that edge out. Bring that dark color down into the water right here. So we already got the dark brown there. We're just going to bring it out about, oh, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 inch down or something like that.
Oh, that's better.
Did you get out of your seat finally?
Hmm?
Did you get out of your seat finally?
Get out of my seat, I mean me picking her up and putting her in her bed, yes. She did get out of my seat.
Good enough for sharing your seat with the cat. Got it. Check.
Yep.
All right. We'll get a little bit more glazing medium so that out here we can kind of have a little bit more transparency, so it's a little softer. Just slightly softer. Then right up next to the boat, we want it the same color, the same intensity of dark, just for that like first little tiny bit where it hits the water. And then almost immediately we're going to start to kind of fade it out a little bit, glazing medium. And that'll just help it be a little bit more transparent. And then we've already got these other colors here, so I'm not wanting to cover over everything. I'm just going to kind of go zigzaggy and do some weight, kind of some lines in here to mimic the flow of the water that we've already got going on here. So the darkest color is going to be kind of right here in the middle where the mast is. So you can go almost straight dark there, and then it's going to start to fade out along the sides here. And this one, I'm going to have a little bit of darkness right here. And I'm going over just lightly over the light areas there to add a little bit of glaze over them. The yellow areas. You may not have them, yours is as yellow as mine, so you may not have to do that. But there we go. Okay, so really nice dark shadows there, and I'm definitely probably gonna do one more layer of like a reddish color in there, but this will be good for now. We've only been going an hour. We've been making pretty good time on this. Nice.
I have been very efficient.
You have been?
Of course.
Okay, so I think I'm going to make the Sailboat sails yellow oxide. That's a opaque yellow. So, and I'm going to mix it with the transparent Indian yellow, so that way it'll cover better. The Indian yellow is kind of the color that I want to go for here. It's a little bit brighter, kind of orangey color that is that see-through from the sails that we're seeing, but if I tried to do the Indian yellow on its own, it just wouldn't cover over the rest of the stuff that's around here. So I'm going to do this first. Bring it down almost to the tip of the boat there. And just as I'm putting it on, I want to smooth it out as much as I can. And we need a couple coats to get it on there. Well, it's fine.
Are you sure it's okay?
It's okay. I won't count off
All right.
points for that.
I mean, how many coats would you start counting off points?
Don't know.
I mean, say if I did 17.
If you did 17 coats, you probably have a super thick layer of paint on here. Be very textured. I'm going to get some yellow, cadmium yellow medium, and just mix it in here to this area right in here. It's got a little bit more of a glow right in the middle there. Okay. color. Over here is a little bit darker. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the same, and we'll darken it up later. I'm going to get the burnt umber, burnt sienna, and put it in right here. Now this is the part where it can get a little trickier. So if you want to simplify this, you could probably do your sailboat in a dark silhouette. So you could do it, you know, all dark. And I think we've done that before. We did one last year that was like that, and it turned out fine. So, you know, won't be the exact same kind of look, but it would work just fine. So this bottom area here is darker, and I just realized I kind of should have left a little bit more of that lighter color there, but that's all right. I want to have this outer edge here have a line, so I'm just going to go along that line with my darker color there. You can use a ruler here, just like we did on the thing here. So if you're having trouble with this, oh, look at that. Oh my God, look at all that hair. I swear I think I'm losing hair. I've got to be. That was like 12 hairs right there. I lose hair when I'm stressed out. It happens. I have alopecia, so I kind of have a feeling I'm going to have a bald spot here pretty soon. Somewhere showing up. Never quite know where it's going to show up either. It's always a surprise. It's really fun. Really fun. Love it. But I keep doing that. I keep like being in the middle of the show and then just like have this huge clump of hair showing up, and I'm like, okay, well, there that goes. Okay. No idea where that came from, but we'll find out. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Love it. Mark puts up with me.
And vice versa.
He's awfully nice about it. Okay, let me see here. So this is the top of this mast, and then this one, there's a little gap. This is that pole right here, the mast coming down, and very quickly meets up with this sail. So this sail comes down this way at an angle, and then very quickly this line and this line kind of merge, and that's the middle of this area here, this sail that kind of overlaps, comes all the way down to the bottom here. And this is the burnt umber, burnt sienna kind of mixture. I'm just trying to kind of go somewhat slowly, build up my layers here of dark. At the top of this, there's just like a little cap kind of thing-ish. And a little bit of line, so you can just do teeny tiny line if you can keep your brush thin enough. You can use a liner brush if you need to for that part. And then this part of the sail is going to come down like that. And then this is the cross piece there. And then this sail comes all the way down to here and angles in down here. Meets up with this one. Somewhere in there. Abouts.
Right around the poop deck.
Exactly.
Or the Lido deck.
I don't know why I don't want to know why they call it that.
The Lido deck?
No,
Oh.
the other one. I think I can count on one hand the number of times I've been on a boat. Well, maybe two. Maybe, yeah, probably two. We used to go out when we were dating there for a while. Or like have a sing rent a boat every now and then.
Yeah.
Okay. Oops. Don't. You know what happened there? Is I had paint on my hand and it came off right there because it sticks. Okay. Phew. I'm gonna wash my hands off really good. I've got white all over. And stuff stuck all over it. Okay. So I'm just looking at my reference photo and I'm seeing that the sky right here is about the same color as it is down here. So I'll have to darken up this area down here a little bit more and add a little bit more of that red glow in the water here. So I'm gonna try that with the number 4 round. Here I'm gonna use the burnt umber and burnt orange and maybe a little bit of yellow oxide just so that it lightens it up just a little bit. And I'm gonna, yeah, there we go. I just want it to show up against that dark, so it's just gotta be bright enough. If it was too dark, it wouldn't show up really. It would just kind of blend into this black. So the yellow oxide just helps it kind of show up on top. There we go. Got a little bit of red glow in our sailboat water. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and use this color with my yellow oxide and Indian yellow to fill in this half of my sail. I probably need my angle brush again.
Okay, some people are claiming that it's a French word for the stern of the boat.
Oh, really?
La Poupe. Poupe.
Got it.
So if you believe that.
I do. I don't know any better.
Okay. Some of our viewers may be partaking in some adult beverages. I don't know.
We've been hearing some very interesting theories on all kinds of things this week, so kinds of COVID rumors running around there that I won't repeat because but it is interesting things that start happening when things go wrong. The things that start popping up in response. We want to explain things, I think. Brains want to make sense of things.
So that's That's what
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Google says too, so we'll believe them.
What Google says too. Okay, good. I'm relieved, honestly. I am.
Mm-hmm.
But not.
Well, I'll be able to sleep, that's for sure.
I would too. I will too.
Oh, motorcycle.
Okay, so now that this is dry, I can start adding my dark on top. Start up there. I'm just going to use my glazing medium as I go down to put my color in where I want it brightest, darkest up there. And then I'm just going to start pulling down the color over the top of my yellow. And there is like a seam right here that I'm seeing. Okay, don't go too much because it's not going to go very far. You're going to want to do it in layers. So I'm going to do a little bit at the bottom here too. And pull it up. I'm not going to try to do the whole thing right now. Cashmere snoring now. Can you hear her snoring over there? Can you hear?
Mm-hmm.
It's hilarious. Are you getting it on mic? Can they hear it?
Yeah, really good.
Okay. So I'm seeing down here, there's a lot like brighter area. I kind of covered up a little bit. Too much of that light glow, so we'll add some more of that back in. But let's go ahead and try to put in our peoples. We'll see how that goes. I'm not great with figure drawing, so I'm going to do my best here.
We'll just paint some deck chairs. Just paint some deck chairs.
Some deck chairs. Shut up. Oh my gosh. That's just mean. Mark likes to remind everybody of the time that I tried to change my photograph. I couldn't. How hard can it be to do deck chairs, right? I mean, chair is a chair, right? No, apparently not. Apparently I'm deck chair impaired. I wouldn't want to sit on them. That's all I'm saying. Probably not safe. Okay. I'm gonna have to add back in my yellow there because I covered up that whole section, but it just was better than it was. It just didn't look right there. So I brought that dark area up a little bit on the sail angle there, and then let's just if you do this, hopefully you'll have the traceable. You can use that to draw around this and be a little more careful when you do yours. I've been didn't have a very good drawing here. Okay, so I'm gonna just put in my yellow back in right there. Just a little slice of it. And then let's go ahead and get the darker. So an hour and a half. We're making pretty good time. I'm gonna use the black and brown burnt umber and some glazing medium. We'll thin out my paint really well because you need your paint thin. I'm using the number 4 round here, and I'm gonna try to do peoples. Okay, so here's their arm. There's a little thing there, little head, little arm here coming down this way, body. And some legs. It definitely looks like a stick band. You should be doing this. And there's some little lines here. I need to use a smaller brush. The arm got a little thick. And
He's just big boned.
I can relate. Okay, so there's a line, and if you want to, you can do this. If you don't want to, do not worry about it. There's a line from about halfway up or so. It probably goes all the way up, but I can't. It kind of disappears back here. So right there. That's probably thicker than it needs to be, but close enough. And another one right here, up. And then there's some lines here, but I've already kind of done those, sort of. Do a couple lines in there, and one right here. Oh, I still haven't done that. Oh, he's got this is the captain. He's got the little thing there. He's steering it. Right here. Looks like he's got a little chair or something. I can't tell what it is. There. See? This is really bad. Really bad, but he's close enough.
He's got the little thing there that he's steering with.
He's steering right here. He's got a little dealy bob. And another little line right here, coming down. And then the cabin part. It's right in here somewhere. Going down there. It goes back. And then like that. And then there's a guy hanging on right here. My brush has a little extra hair on it, right on the tip there. Come on, brush. Don't do me like that. There. So honestly, you can leave those out if you don't want to do this. It's up to you. Don't think it matters really one way or another. And then there's like probably somebody here too. I can't tell. My brush has got little fuzzies coming off the end of it. Here, I don't know what the deal is. Yeah, there's like one little tiny hair that's sticking way out. I need to cut it. Probably it's causing all these little fuzzies to happen on here. It's like messing me up. Okay, that's fine. That's why his head looks weird. Okay, and there's some kind of odds and ends here, so I'm not gonna get too fancy with it. And just want to make sure that this is nice and dark all the way through. And then I'm going to grab some of that lighter color again, that yellow and white. And just add a little bit of it right here. Okay. And right here, there is a section of the sail that is getting some light through it. So it's like right between this post and the bottom here. Yellow.
So if you were going to paint in like a sea wolf breaching, where about would you put that?
By Seawolf, you mean the submarine?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, in order to balance it out, I'd probably put him over here somewhere.
Okay.
I love you. I love how your mind thinks. Oh my gosh.
Just a nice peaceful day on the water. Oh my God!
It's like when that boat, you seen that video of the whale that breaches right in front of the sailboat?
Yeah.
And it like goes, I think it hits it, doesn't it? I don't remember. I don't know. Anyhow, it's been a while. I've slept since then. All right, doing a little bit more of a glow in my sails right through here. And let's go ahead and do it right back here too. I'm going to use the glazing medium. This is the cadmium yellow medium, a little bit of the Indian yellow too. So I've got the darker color there. It's not going to cover it totally, but it'll just kind of add a little bit of a glow there. The cadmium yellow medium is opaque though, so you can make it as, you know, as covered as you want to with this. So that's why I'm using the glazing medium, because I wanted to keep it a little bit transparent, a little bit softer. Blend it in a little bit more. Okay, that's better. I'm getting a little bit more of a glow. This sail here is bugging me, so, and it needs to be darker. It needs to kind of match the darkness down here. So I'm going to get this color that we were using before here. And well, right about where this sail starts to cover over this other one, just do that area there. And it comes down. All the way down. I'm going to bring this over a little bit more. Okay, and then this comes out a little bit more than I have it too. So I'm going to bring this out just a little bit more. It kind of starts here and goes out a little bit more. There we go. And then I'm just going to use this thinned out paint, pull it in toward the middle a little bit. Get some glazing medium. Just blend through. Smooth it out. Okay. And we'll have to let that dry, but and do some more with it. I'm going to grab some of my burnt orange here and use it on this one toward the top. So put the darkest color where you want it to be brightest or, you know, deepest at the top there, and then as it comes down here, we're just going to to about right there. I don't want it to come so far down. And I'm going to do this crease though, and just a little bit along the outside edge right there. Now let's go ahead and do a little bit on this one too. Oops. Okay. Get that dark color and do it right here. Down, meeting up with this. Do a second coat on these if you need them. Or probably will. I put it on kind of thin, so I'm going to just go back through here and darken that edge up a little bit, and then just blend it out. Now, blending can be tricky, especially for beginners. So like I said, if you need to if you're having trouble with this, I would just say, you know, do it a solid dark. I think it would look just fine. Or even like a solid brown, or, you know, kind of like this color or something, like a sepia tone for the sails, and then do the darker around the outside or something. There's a lot of ways you can simplify it. Just don't feel like you have to do it exactly the way I'm doing it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use this brush for my lines and my sails and see how thin I can get it. This is that angle brush still. So I've got these lines going up the sail. I'm going to start here and angle it down, and whatever angle I start at, I'm just going to continue it all the way up. So and I may have to turn it so that I'm not ending on the outside. It'll be better to do it that way. Try to get these even and keep my angle the same, and try to make them about the same distance apart.
Don't adjust your TV. It's okay.
There we go. So like that. There we go. And then same thing on this one. These ones are going this way, so I can, and they're kind of almost lined up. They're just a little slightly above, so I'm gonna, like that one ended there, so I'm gonna go just slightly above it right there. And then same thing for this one. This one. Like that. Okay. Are we done? I don't know. I'm trying to think. No, we need our birds. We need birds. We wanted to darken up this down here too. I wanted to darken the water down here. Bird. This is what I want. My Indian yellow glaze. Indian yellow is already transparent, so it's going to be already, kind of halfway there for us. And I'm just going to darken it up so it kind of matches our horizon line a little bit. Just right at the bottom. Don't go more than halfway up with this. I think it'll look good right around here too. Help that transition there. And then you can use it in this part if you need to. Okay. There's little tiny bits of, I'm gonna go ahead and get the cadmium, or the, what color is that? I can't even, Cobalt. Thank you. And a little bit, make that purple color again.
As Angela politely talks to herself. What color is that? Cobalt. Oh, thank you.
I have actually said thank you when I've remembered things too. That's funny.
You did just say thank you to yourself.
Did I?
Mm-hmm.
Just now?
Such manners.
I'm losing my mind. Oh my god. Oh. Is anybody still watching? Oh, good. Good. We appreciate y'all. Now more than ever, we all need each other, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of crazy stuff happening in the world. Okay, I just want a little bit of this encroaching in my white, and really not much farther than about right here, like kind of right midline right here. And this line got a little weird. Keep them horizontal. Don't let them go squirrely on you. They're going to want to kind of go angled, but keep them straight if you can. They can curve a little bit, like, you know, that water has that little bit of a curve in them, but the overall motion should be horizontal.
And flat.
Yes. Yes. Do some of this pink over here. Thank you, Anne.
Because that whole earth thing.
I thought you were being serious for a second. Silly me. Okay. I'm getting some yellow here. I added I used that same purple color and just added some yellow to it. So I'm going to use it over here on this side. Whoops, I'm off camera.
Why?
I don't know. You didn't tell me. I've probably been doing that this whole time. Sorry.
No.
Only 5 times. Oh, beauty. I like it. It's very pretty. Okay. Okay. And if you need to, at this point, you could go back through and, you know, if you need to straighten up your line. Like I'm seeing that there's like a gap right here. I just want to add a little bit of the blue to that horizon line there. So I'm going to get a little bit of that cobalt teal. Mix it with this color. And this has got the phthalo blue in it too. And just put it right up there so that I've got this color kind of filling in that whole sky right there. Okay, very good.
Are you going to add any detail for the wake behind the boat?
Yes, I need to add that back in, don't I? I did have it there, but it disappeared on me.
And you're welcome to you international people. Some people learned what a wake is today.
Oh, really?
Yes, so not only do you learn how to paint, you learn some English language too.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Sometimes we
taught
learn
them
it.
tidy whities a couple weeks ago, and
Yeah.
now they're learning wake. Very good. You're welcome. I do need to emphasize this fold in the sails. So I'm gonna get some of that burnt umber and burnt sienna, and then just go from the top here. Make sure it's dark enough. Yeah, that looks good. Glazing medium in here. Very good. Make sure my lines are dry before I do this because I don't want to erase my lines and have to paint them in again. I'm just gonna pull down right where I'm seeing that crease right there in the middle. It's not one to blend in very good. There we go. And I think I need it darker up at the top, so I'm gonna get some more of the burnt umber and just pull it, add it up there. It's almost black right there. Same thing for right there. All right. I like it. And my people even look okay. Like, I'm pretty proud of that. They look sort of normal-ish. I don't paint them enough to be comfortable painting people. I just...
Well,
I can do it if I have a reference photo, but...
I did do a video on that.
Mm-hmm. You did. You did. Okay. I'm gonna... Well, I can see here, too. I need to just glaze over this area here to blend it in a little bit. There we go. Very nice. You can mess with the sail as much as you want. I'm not 100% happy with mine, but it is what it is. I'm not going to mess with it anymore today. Let's do our seagulls. So I am going to try to draw them. So one is right about here, like on an angle. Just kind of pointing to the boat. Slightly curved body, triangle for the tail, very short, close to the wings. So there's the wings and then the body. And then more wings. Again, kind of curved out a little bit. The wings a little bit longer on this side than that side. Tapers. And then kind of angles back down when it hits the body. Angles in just slightly. Right here, big white body here, and like a pointy neck. There we go. And then this one is lying this way, angle. And it's got... It's kind of like that classic M shape that you get. You see, kind of the first way you learn to draw birds. It's kind of that classic. It's about twice as big as that one-ish. And the body, I can't tell where the face is going down here. So you're seeing a little bit of a beak. Tail is coming straight at us, so we're not seeing any of that tail. It's just in line with the wings. And it's all pretty streamlined. Okay, let's try to paint it. I'm going to use the little baby. I'm going to have to switch to a different brush though, because this baby one has got a problem with its hair. So let me get a little. That happens sometimes. You just, if that happens, you just have to look at it real carefully and just cut. There's just one little hair that's sticking up there. I'll just have to get the scissors and cut it. I grabbed the #1 round in the Princeton VelvetTouch. So I'm going to use the burnt umber, a little bit of black, kind of that same color that we've been using for our dark areas, and do the outer edge of my bird wing. I'm kind of filling it in sort of transparently, so it's not super dark. The darkest along the edges and like right up next to the body right here. There's gonna be darker area than like the outer edge is a little bit darker. And there's the tail. And when you're doing this it's like better to be sort of sketchy with it. So I'm going to get the Unbleached Titanium for this. So I'm going to just kind of dab it on and dab the wet colors on top of the darker colors. So I'm going to go ahead and use this color here. A little bit of the, come on, get that darker color. There we go. Blend those together a little bit. Dab in the wings. And again, they're going to be about the same size right here and here where they're touching into the body. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're doing it. And then the very little tip of the beak, I'm going to twist my brush so it's a nice fine point and just do a really thin line for that beak. That's all I'm doing. I don't have to really define it any more than that. That would be enough. Might get a little bit of white and just do a slight white highlight along this side of it. I can see a little bit right there. Okay. And for this bird, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to kind of use this kind of gray white that I've got here. Do that part first. The body is kind of a, what is that shape? Kind of just a little half circle almost. Right here, there's a lot of yellow in this one. He's catching a little bit more of the sunlight, so I'm going to put a little bit of yellow in him. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit of yellow up in here too. I can see it on him now. And then a little bit of white for the bit of tail right there. And then get the darker color. And just do those wings. And I'm doing them kind of, a little bit sketchy, so it's not perfectly smooth. I've got little feathers there, so they're not sticking out much though. So, but I find that, if you've got these long lines, sometimes it's easier to just kind of do them in short sections. So I'm just gonna a little bit like that.
Yeah, I thought those birds looked a little sketchy.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Somebody's asked, I think because we're so zoomed in, they can see a little bit of the toothiness of the canvas.
Mm-hmm.
They would like to know, do you know if this canvas texture is similar to the Artist Loft Level #1?
I do not. I'm not familiar with that one. Sorry. But it's a very thick, it's a 12 ounce. So if you look at the ounces, a lot of times the cheaper canvases will be about 8 ounces. So, those discount canvases that you get in bulk multi-packs, they'll be about 8 ounces usually. This one is 12. So it's a lot thicker, a lot, more dense. So it's going to have a little bit more of a structurally sound, it's not going to bounce on you as much. Like this thing is super tight. You can't, like the cheaper canvases, you can push them in and they'll almost kind of stay dented a little bit. This one, you're not going to have that trouble with. So one of the things I like about the better Fredrix canvases. I did not use the good canvases until I became well, I take that back. I used them occasionally, like when I had gallery work. I would use the good canvases. or if I had a commission or something. But when I did my tutorials and teaching, I never used the really good canvases, and man, they make a difference. They do. So, I would use the cheaper ones for your practice work, but then if you're going to be giving it as a gift, or, you feel like you're ready to take it to the next level, I would start investing in some of these better canvases. You'll really notice a difference. I have, it's been surprising to me how much easier they are to paint on. That's one of the things that I've noticed, which I did not realize would be the case. They're easier for me, just teaching, just in general. They're just... All right, I think that's good. I'm going to call that Feeney. Hope you guys try it. Paint along. Share it with me on social media. Got all kinds of links down in the description. We got a really fun group called Thankful Art that we do special things in, and post, kind of more, share our life with our community there. So it's a really sweet group. And then we also have the one on Patreon for $10. I have another Facebook group with those folks, and they get a weekly video just for themselves that we do live on Thursdays. So, and those ones, that one we work on all month long. So it's kind of like the bonus video, only we take our time and we do even more with it. So this month we're working on some flower. I don't know where it is. What did we do with it? Oh, there it is. So it doesn't look like much yet, but we're working on some herbs. They're going to be herbs in glass bottles. So this is our first 2 layers. We're really first layer. So we'll be adding a whole lot more detail to that. So it's kind of nice with those Thursday afternoon ones with the $10 group, because we kind of just take our time and I paint on it until I get it right.
Yep.
So.
And then tomorrow we get the Patreon bonus video.
Yes, we do. Yep. And I showed them already kind of what we're going to be painting. Yeah. So, yep. And if you want the traceable for this, I'll be creating it tonight. I usually use the reference photo or the finished painting to create that. And we'll be posting it on Patreon later on today or tomorrow. So hopefully tonight, but we'll see how it goes.
You might be playing games tonight with the family.
Yeah, exactly. So
and then we'll be back Tuesday.
Take a shower today.
Who knows?
I don't know.
And then Tuesday, what's our video?
Tuesday, we are painting up with a palette knife. I'm excited.
Sweet.
I got my new palette knives in, so I'm going to get to use those little, I might even pull this one out. Who knows? I don't know. Looks really cool. But we're going to be painting some flowers. We've done one similar to it. We did some teal. Let me show you kind of the style. The ones this is the one we did a couple of years ago. So we'll be doing it similar style. It'll be similar to this, but it's pink flowers. So it'll be kind of messy and really fun, kind of easy one that we can do with kids, or, as a paint party at home, a painted home party with your friends on Zoom or whatever, I mean, you could do, get creative with it. So I think that one's one that, you could even do it with your fingers. We might even show how to do some of those with your fingers instead of palette knife. So anyhow, I need to sign it, I guess, don't I? Oh yeah, I wanted to say thank you to Lorinda Edwards. Last week she donated on PayPal, so we didn't see that until after the show, but thank you to Lorinda.
So that was our only, we're just doing the super chat for that.
Oh, okay, super. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lorinda.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to come up and over just a little bit and sign it with my pen. Try to keep it in this light area if I can. There we go. And I'm using the Pigma FB Sakura pens. They are alcohol based, so just keep that in mind when you do your varnishing. They can, if your varnish has any kind of alcohol in it, it can make it run a little bit. So you may want to just kind of do a little coat of some glazing medium or something over the top of it, and then before you varnish, and then that'll seal it in and kind of keep it from running. All right, that was fun.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed it and paint along, and you can share it with me on social media. Like I said, give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll be back on Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. To those patrons who are going to be watching with us, looking forward to that. We'll see you then. Thanks, guys. Bye.